and welcome to Comic Solving Problems. I'm Stephen Allen.
And I'm Eric McElroy. Good evening.
Hello, welcome along to the first of your two installments of your bi-weekly streaming comedy show thing, broadcast from our spare rooms. For me, down here in the studio in the southeast of England. I think it's coming along all right. It looks all right. I've just about managed to finish unpacking from that holiday I took to Brazil a little while ago. I didn't really mention it at the time, but sure nothing bad will come from that. And as we plough on through the rest of today's show, well, you can get in touch, you can interact. Let's see if I've got these. There we are. You can interact, join the conversation by messaging or tweeting the things on the screen for the tweets and the Instagram and the TikTok, if that's what you're into. You can also get involved on the main YouTube channel, youtube.com/comic solving problems. In fact, now will be a good time to share the link to that so that people go, oh, what's that? And they'd see these faces. Poor things. But they might stick around and see a few jokes, you never know. And through the show, as we plough on, we'll talk about helping support the arts by patronising us. If you would kindly patronise us, that would be great. Yep. I can't wait for the comment section just telling me what the word actually means, because that would be a double whammy. Do it.
I think.
Do it. So, yes. And also, if you've pre-bought any tickets to this fest, I was going to say comedy fest, just this fest, thank you very much.
Show. Yeah, and also we're going to do a shout out tonight because we have a new ticket category with Crack Comedy. It's the I'm Feeling Generous ticket for 20 quid, Steve. And we can do a little shout out thank you to Tina because she purchased one of those.
Tina was feeling generous.
Tina was feeling it. And you know what, Tina? We're feeling you.
Oh, like pre-Me Too. That would have been
feeling thanks. We're feeling thanks.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I'm not the governor of New York. Let's put it that way.
Nice. We're up and running already. Look at that. So thank you very much, Tina. That will help keep the lights on. And annoyingly, there are lots of lights required.
There's so many lights right now.
It's ridiculous.
So many.
So yeah, as we go through the show, get involved, all of that lot, keep the money going. But we need to solve some problems to fulfill our promise here, Eric. What you got?
This is a big one, Steve. How do you find justice? It's a big one because there's been a lot of reflection about that in the United States recently after we had a little bit of a insurrection. I almost said erection last month. Hopefully we've had one of those since then, but only one insurrection every couple of centuries. And the FBI director was up on Capitol Hill speaking to senators about everything that's been going on with the investigations. And he's been talking about everything that the FBI is doing to bring the lawbreakers to justice, which we can see here.
We're chasing down leads. We're reviewing evidence, combing through digital media to identify, investigate, and arrest anyone who broke the law that day. And our greatest partner in this investigation has been the American people themselves.
What? Me? As one of the American people? I mean, not you, Steve. You're not an American people. You're foreign, so you don't count in this equation. But I am a partner of the FBI. And I mean, I know I've been a comic and stuff, and a father and a dog owner, but I've always wanted to be fucking FBI. I mean, that's cool. Like, what do you think? You there? Were you part of the insurrection? It's pretty intimidating, isn't it? I can be a member of the FBI. And you know what? I got right on the case, Steve. I'm like, yeah, I'm not going to miss this opportunity because they have a really good pension plan. And I don't have a pension right now. So I'm in for this shit, right? I got in there and they said, all you have to do is go on social media and report where you think the insurrectionists are. And I've got one right here.
Hello, CPAC. Do you miss me yet? Do you miss me? A lot of things going on.
Yeah, a lot of things going on. How can you miss someone who never goes away?
That's a real difficult to solve problem, that one.
That is very difficult to solve. But just arrest him. He was right there in Florida. He stood there for an hour and 20 minutes. Surely that's enough time for the FBI to get there. But he's right. There are a lot of things going on, Steve, because just have a look at this headline. Litigation tracker, pending criminal and civil cases against Donald Trump. Look at that. Wow. They've got so many cases against Donald Trump. They've got a website page dedicated to it. It's not just like a single case against Donald Trump. It's a page, and it goes on. I looked. It's a big one. There's only limited space on the internet, Steve. He's being very greedy. Anyway, I thought, you know what? He's got all these cases. This would be a great time for a very special feature that we like to do on comic solving problems. Quiz time! And to knock us into quiz time, here we go.
Where did that come from?
We finally got a jingle. We've got a quiz time jingle.
Wow, we're getting serious now. As much as I presume this was just two people being stupid on the internet for a while, now you've got a jingle. This is serious.
Now we got a real jingle. Right, Steve and viewers, you guys can play this in the comments. We'll keep an eye on there. We've seen some people already say evening, but feel free to jump on the comments. We primarily looking at the YouTube channel, looking at other sources as well. We've got some true and false questions for you, Steve. Are you ready?
False. No, sorry. I mean, yes, I am.
That was not.
Okay.
That was just to get you ready.
I'm ready.
That question doesn't count.
False.
The final totals.
True.
If you're gonna be sarcastic about the game, we won't play.
True.
True or false, Steve? There are 12 current civil lawsuits against the former president listed on the website.
You know what? I mean, people can get involved in the messages, but while I just tread water here, thinking I'm leaning towards false because there are more numbers that aren't 12 than are. So statistically, it's more likely it's not 12. False.
It is false, but it's not for what you think it is, Steve. There are 12 civil and criminal lawsuits listed.
Nice.
There's both. There's a few civil, there's a few criminal. So, you know what Trump's like. He likes it all. He wants it all. Chris has said there must be more than 12. I thought so too, to be honest. Right. Okay, here we go. True and false, Steve.
Yep.
There are no existing crimes alleged against former President Obama.
No, I bet that's false. I bet you there are. Who's alleged? They must have alleged something about his birth certificate, alleged something to do with that tan suit that keeps upsetting you. So false.
It is false, but not for the reasons you said, Steve. It is false because you know what he did? He stole my heart.
Okay.
True or
at
false?
least he stole your heart in a nice way, not like when OJ stole your heart when he just like broke in and.
I didn't say he grabbed my heart. The way Donald Trump grabs body parts.
Okay.
Obama stole it.
Nice.
To be fair, it was there for the giving. True or false? Trump could end up being the first former president to be indicted.
True.
No, that is false because you forgot about Obama. He's guilty as charged of stealing my heart.
Guilty as a girl could be. Only baby can't you see I've been accused of loving the first degree.
I don't know what that's a reference to, Steve. Is that a poem or something?
Yeah, it's a poem by this group of poets called Bananarama. And
oh my God. You would have thought I got a Bananarama reference. Damn it. All right. True or false, Steve?
Got me thinking.
Mary Trump, Trump's niece, who I interviewed for my podcast, American Exchange, which you can find on all good podcast providers. Oh, yeah, I have a question there as well. Sorry, I was just mentioning the podcast and the fact that I talked to Mary Trump, Trump's niece, in case you want to check that out. It's online. It's on all. But anyway, true or false? Mary Trump, Trump's niece, is suing her uncle for defrauding her out of millions of dollars in her inheritance.
She's suing uncle, the person that you interviewed on the often plugged podcast. I don't know. Because I remember I would have written about it in my book. Lasted another year despite a pandemic just behind me there. But I'm going to say true.
It is false. She's actually suing him under the stereotypical creepy uncle statute of 1856.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. No, you just sue him anyway. I mean, it's creepy uncle. I read her book before I interviewed her for my podcast, American Exchange, and he was creepy.
Are you an uncle? Because I've got uncle status. So
I am an uncle. Yeah.
I find the concept quite offensive that uncles are presumed. It's like being a stepmother. Like there is no good stepmother press.
That's true.
Yeah.
But to be fair, one of us is more creepy than the other.
I'll read about
true
it
or false,
all. And...
Steve. Well, now who's going all plug? I wrote this into the script. That's off script.
I got spare books to improv this with.
Off script. Still waiting for my free one. Anyway, true or false?
This one.
Final question. Trump is being sued for undervaluing his property to avoid taxes.
Oh, surely yes. I mean, anything in a sentence that ends with "to avoid taxes," I'd say true.
That is right, Steve. But actually, here's a quote from one of Trump's lawyers replying to the court in the case saying, "Duh, only suckers pay for taxes, losers."
They're the kind of people we need in this world. People who think that.
Yep. And that's exactly what his lawyers sound like, because those are the only people who will represent him now. Yeah. It's the gangster lawyers.
Hey, I'm walking here. That kind of. Yeah.
So there you go. That's the quiz.
Well, let's have a look. We've got some Mad Dog McLaren's getting involved on Twitch. We've got a couple of true and falses in there. Look at that. We're exploding on Twitch right now.
That's very good. You were right on both counts.
Yeah.
I don't know which questions you were saying true and false to. We should probably tighten that up a little bit.
Yeah, that's true. Chris in the Hood getting some right as well. Let's have a look at some of the other messages. Yeah, people have been playing along. Let's have a look. A couple of Evening Boys. Couple of... Mark says Steve 3, Chris and Britt 2, Mark and Keith 1. Britt... Oh, Britt, by the way, just went for some... was saying T or F. None of this true or false, Lark. Efficient.
Oh,
I like that.
You can't waste your time. There's no time in this game. There's no time. You don't know.
Yeah, we ain't got time to mess around. I mean, we literally...
We're going to spend some of Tina's sweet prize money.
So look, Keith got some right as well by the looks of it. Britt says he stole my heart. Face palm. Getting heckled in the comments. Harsh life, isn't it?
He did. He was so dreamy.
And I think we're up to date with some of these.
Chris has also said, I'm also an uncle, but do you have a favorite niece?
That you're right. As soon as you even asking that question makes it creepy. And if it's yes, you're creepy. And if it's no, you're still creepy. Well done on identifying the nub there.
If I said yes to that, it would be creepy because I don't have any nieces.
Right. Yeah, I do. Oh, you mean mine?
It's not mine.
Mad Dog McLaren admits that they were wrong on both. That is a level of honesty you don't normally find on the internet. So well done.
Especially not on Twitch.
If you're enjoying this, chuck some coins in our little coffer. Coffee. Oh, I'm getting down a. Kofi in our coffeecoffer.com. Comic solving problems.
There you go.
Right. Keep the messages coming through. Should we jump into another problem?
Yeah.
Okay. I want to try and solve our attitude to crime. This week I've been upset by criminals being criminal. And it just, I don't like it. I know, it's controversial. And I think the biggest criminal of the week, probably the worst criminal, I would actually say could be former French President Nicolas Sarkozy. Sentenced to jail for corruption. Oh, he's been abusing power. He's been attempting bribes, and it makes sense. I always knew bribery must have been involved. How else could a man like that get supermodel Carla Bruni to marry him? There must have been some form of bribes. And then I read the story, and it turns out he didn't bribe her. So this really is shocking news. Instead, apparently, he tried to use influence and bribe a judge. Was one of the things he's been found guilty of, attempted bribery. And I do think if you're found guilty of bribing a judge, you bribed the wrong judge. You should probably try and bribe the judge in charge of the bribery case. You can walk away scot-free. I'll be for thinking. But boom.
Got to do both, I think.
Just do the second one. Which means don't even speak to the first judge. Just wait until you're accused of bribery. Bribe the judge.
But then you're not guilty at all.
That's what you want them to think. Yeah, not guilty at all. And when the judge says, but you're not guilty, you'd be like, yeah, I know, have another 1,000. But this is big news because he was a former president. He was the guy in charge. That would be as earth-shaking as, imagine in the UK if we found out that our prime minister once used his influence to do something like, I don't know, get funds given to a businesswoman who was a pole dancer. It's that level of big news, and somehow they are dealing with it well over in France. And so he's been sentenced to 3 years in prison. And 2 of them have already been suspended. And I'm slightly more miffed about what happens about that 3rd year. He's been sent to limited home confinement. We've all been sentenced to home confinement for the last year. If I ever do this bribery and I don't manage to bribe the right judge, I hope we consider this lockdown to be time served. And also, what kind of a stupid-ass judge is coming out with house arrest during this time, getting the... Right, I have the results. I find you guilty and sentence you to house arrest for the period of... What's this? Have they? Okay, well, in that case, for the crimes for which you were found guilty, I sentence you to no longer being allowed visits from your friends to your home. What's that now? Really? I really should pay attention to the news more. Then in that case, I find you guilty and sentence you to having to watch all of Tiger King. Oh, for God's sakes. So, who's coming up with these stupid lockdown related? He's not even going to notice. So I am upset about Sarkozy and how he's just basically going to get away with this. He might be the worst criminal if it wasn't for this guy, a plastic surgeon who turned up for a Zoom court hearing while in the middle of an operation. So he was, busy doing his thing, and I've got to sort out that speeding ticket, whatever it was. Why wait? Why stop the plastic surgery procedure? We have a picture here of the Zoom meeting. Judge in the top corner, and not even hiding it. You even got the lights in the background. I mean, at least he's wearing a mask. That's more than we often see on the internet. But he's in the middle of the operation, and here's a couple of quotes. Courtroom clerk asked Dr. Green, "Are you available for trial? It kind of looks like you're in an operating room." He confirmed he was, but then said, "Oh, carry on. Yeah, it's fine. Yeah, I can deal with this." Can you imagine to be a plastic surgeon operating while dealing with something else? Firstly, men can't multitask. Don't even try this. And there's a level of, I guess it's an attitude, isn't it? Where you think, I'm so important, I'll deal with this law thing. I'll just take it in my stride. I'm presuming he won't be in the middle of an operation when he gets sued for malpractice. But still, I look at someone who's willing to do that, and I just think, imagine the cheek. Apparently, he ruined it. And just to find out, the actual person that he was working on, they look quite happy about it. We can see them there. Not turned out the way they planned. So yeah, I'm not sure if that's a problem that we've actually solved, but they're two criminals that I think we need to watch out for.
So that crime-heavy show so far. We've got me working for the FBI now.
Sarkozy.
You're keeping up on, It is, a traffic court in America is very different than the UK, because you can, if you want to appeal your ticket, you actually have to go to court and appear in front of a judge, which is a huge waste of time. But I've been there. I've been in court in front of the judge.
But did you stop the operation that you were doing? Did you put the scalpel down? Is my only question.
Well, no. I mean, as a comedian and former actor, I would have had to, but the show must go on.
Always.
So working. I can see what he's doing. If you're booked in, the court time doesn't, normally. And before he probably would have said, "I'm a doctor, I'm a surgeon, I can't afford to be there," and he would have canceled. So he's actually saving the taxpayer money. He's not saving the poor sod he's operating on and anything.
Plastic surgeon. It's probably just doing titties.
They do other bits.
They do, but statistically, I mean,
scrotum straightening.
Okay.
What?
Get rid of the crease.
So for some of us, a crooked scrotum is a big problem.
Wrinkly, is that the problem? Because if it's wrinkles that you're worried about, don't worry.
No, I iron those out.
Yeah. Okay. Wow. Well, get some comments coming through. If you'd like to get in touch, you can. Let's get this up on the screen. Pop that one up there as well. He's got to pay those legal fees, says Joseph. I guess, yeah, and he'll have to pay the next ones and the next ones because he's a flipping criminal. It's the God complex. I mean,
you would think you get a discount on that surgery. Maybe that was like his charity work.
Yeah, you'd get a discount. What's the thing? You'd get a discount if you end up looking like that, definitely. And while we're going back to do previous clips, I meant to do this earlier after I saw you start yours. The other news story that we could have talked about when it comes to crime is the issue of Lady Gaga having her dogs nicked. And I think we can get a statement on that.
We're chasing down leads. We're reviewing.
So, that's an old joke, but you had it in that clip. I thought we'd do it.
If she'd had the leads on tighter in the first place.
What if she'd walked to dogs herself rather than sending out someone to, take all the flack? Caroline says that Eric needs to straighten his lava lamp.
I think you'll find it is straight.
Is it? You in a fisheye lens? That's on the piss, mate.
It's a problem. It is a problem. The problem with it is that the replacement bulb that I purchased for the lava lamp is too big. And so the lava lamp doesn't rest all the way in the instrument. So it's actually resting on the bulb.
But why don't you turn it round so that the angle of lean, the Pisa angle, is towards the camera, and then we wouldn't be able to tell because we're seeing it in 2D.
Yeah, it was set up properly, and I think as it got warm because it heats the liquid. It's the same problem that the Leaning Tower of Pisa has.
The liquid inside, yeah.
The liquid inside, because I've got one that's a snow globe of the Leaning Tower of Pisa that shows up as a miniature.
The lava lamp of Pisa, yeah.
Yeah, that's where the idea came from in the first place.
It makes a lot of sense. You're talking...
The Greeks invented everything.
The Greeks did. You're making a lot of sense. You can keep the messages coming through. Twitter's on screen as well if you'd like to do that. I've not even been on comment cam yet, but we'll save that for the next one.
Yeah.
Right.
I think I'm caught up on the comments I can see, I think. Right. And I'm sure Steve put the Ko-fi link up there if you want to chuck us some quid. Be like Tina. That's all I'm saying. Right. Okay. Is it back to me?
Yeah.
All right, here we go. There's a problem, Steve. And this is the problem of breaking a few eggs to make an omelet. Right? I think you're familiar with the version of that saying, aren't you? You know, to achieve something, you might have to crack a few eggs.
Yep.
Yep, you're aware of that. But the question is, how many eggs? It doesn't really specify. It says, a few. How many does that mean? But this is a case of probably too many eggs, as we can see in this headline that I got off of good old Twitter. Man hospitalized after putting 15 boiled eggs up his anus.
I mean...
Now, there's a number of problems with this, obviously. I mean, first off, the poor little egg in that picture. You can see he's looking where he's going to go. No!
It's winking at me.
Secondly, you don't use boiled eggs to make an omelet. So that's where my analogy falls down.
Yeah.
But let's set that aside for a moment.
Do we know why he was doing it?
Be true. Well, Steve, we're going to get into that. I mean, that's not a question of why. It's a question of why not. We've got a little bit more detail here, if you can show us this. It started with a report published last week, although I did find out because this was on Twitter and it only came up this week. It actually was in 2018.
Yeah, close enough.
We're comic-solving problems. We're not topical. Although this case of topical is a little bit gross, so hang in there. Published last week, in air quotes, in the Dutch Journal of Medicine. And the article was titled, Step-by-Step Approach to Rectal Corpus Elenum. In other words, how to remove foreign bodies stuck in a patient's rectum, a truly noble cause. And I think that is the writer of this article being just a little bit sarcastic with that kind of, you don't need that sort of commentary. Anyway.
You got enough problems. You got eggs up your bumhole.
Exactly. Just let's hurry it on. I don't need the attitude. I looked up the alienum. I'd never heard of that. And it was on a website that specializes in rectal foreign bodies. And then I logged off of Pornhub and went on a real website. And it said, it did say that the vast majority of such objects inserted via the anus are the result of sexual misadventure.
Yeah.
Now, Steve, I would disagree with that. That is not a misadventure. That is a good adventure. That is where the fun happens, especially in lockdown. What else are you going to do? What have you been doing for lockdown, Steve?
Not that, so fair enough,
right.
Yeah.
Fine. But I mean, you're going to go on a roller coaster. Go on a roller coaster, put a couple of eggs up your bum. Woo! Who's having fun now?
Not the egg.
Not the egg. Definitely not the egg. Don't go with the ostrich eggs either. Ooh, that is not fun. But the thing is this a real story? Because that's one of the, I found it on Twitter, looked it up, and realized before it was too late and I committed to doing the story that it was from 2-3 years ago. So I thought, fuck it, I'm putting it in anyway. So let's have a look. This is the actual Dutch story here. The original story. Now, my Dutch is a little bit rusty, Steve, but let me
Rusty Dutch. I think that's probably it's the phrase that describes what you're talking about. Saying it with a Klingon accent, but that's fine.
I'm glad you picked up on that. I knew it was a true Trekkie that you would pick up on that. But it's real, obviously. It's in Dutch.
Oh, they must
never
be
lie.
Yeah.
It must be real. I mean, it's in a Dutch headline. No one can translate that Dutch to find out if it's fake. But there's more to the story. Apparently, there have been an increase in this sort of misadventure. But again, I think that's all down to lockdown. We've been there, all of our friends and family. But when the patient came into the hospital, he was under distress, apparently. In fact, his heart rate was up to 120 beats per minute, which is way too many beats to make an omelet.
Nice.
At least that's a proper joke.
It is. That's not the one you're leaving this topic on, though, is it?
No, not yet.
Thank God.
We have to think.
The
who
pause.
was this legend? Who was this? I'd say masked man, but that's not quite right. The article didn't say who he was, but I did do some research to see if anybody else had covered this story, to see if maybe we could get some actual video footage of the incident. And I couldn't find the video of the story, but I did find this image referring to the actual story here, which we can put up now. And it says, the man from the Netherlands has not been identified due to privacy reasons. And they've got these two images of two guys who are not identified in the article I found at all. Just two dudes. The one on the left, he isn't really, because the guy on the right is blurred. So I'm guessing he's the receiver.
All right. It's Jason Statham, though, but yeah.
The guy on the left, I mean, he's not blurred because you know what? He's the one who put the eggs up there. He's just a legend.
He's just the greengrocer.
And he's got a cane, which is what I'm guessing he used to insert the eggs. Because, I mean, by the time you get to like the 8th egg, there's not a lot of room left up there.
Yeah, you got to keep going.
You got to just get in there with the stick. So those are the guys, apparently, who had this part of time. And of course, the big question is, how do they get the eggs out? They don't want to just leave them in there. And I couldn't find any coverage of that particular part of the story. But I did do a little bit of research, and that for that extraction to have taken place, I did find something similar in this clip from this documentary. It is that makes that so special. Now, obviously, before we finish this, the big question everybody asks is, did the eggs get peeled before being inserted? And the answer is, we'll never know.
Wow. I mean, every time we do one of these shows, it's an education. Stuff.
I mean, what would you go? Would you go peeled or unpeeled for the egg? Would you want shell on or shell off?
Probably shell off, because I guess it's more likely to rip if it'll stay itself with a shell on, but if it were to crack, then you're in trouble. Whereas if the hard-boiled egg but peeled breaks up, it looks like you didn't chew your food. Yeah.
And I mean, how do you like your eggs boiled?
Not like that.
Like a little bit soft?
Do you know what I think? Surely the outcome of this story should be one guy has a great ability to do a chicken impression. You were like, I do the best chicken impression ever. Yeah, and everyone else around the table is going, I do even better than that. Even better than that.
I did. A little bolognese. I did try and come up with which came first.
Good.
But I just ran out of time.
Okay. I always love it when we've got that 45% worth of a joke. Nah, why finish it?
I mean, you know what I'm going to go with.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We all know it. Yeah.
Obviously, the chicken came first, which is the guy who was stuffing the eggs up there because he wasn't having it done to himself.
In that situation, I'd rather be the chicken, the one who's like, no, I'm sorry, I'm too scared. Please don't put that on.
I'll make the eggs, but you do with them what you want. I don't know why the chicken talks like this, but in that particular scenario, it's a Dutch chicken.
The Dutch chicken. Which again, I'm sure is a thing. Chris says a curate's egg, good in parts, but not in those parts. Egg smuggling. Beterberg says, I never remember when you two graced the internet with your dank jokes. Here's a thought, splash times and dates more often. It's a secret. We don't just want anyone watching this. This is a special niche thing for people who are willing to spend their time watching us do jokes about eggs being at people's chocolate pockets.
It's been on the same time for almost a year.
Almost a year.
I mean, and Beerberg, I wouldn't be doing my YouTube channel diligence. Could you please put the link up, Steve?
Ding.
What you should be doing is subscribing to the channel and clicking the bell icon so you get alerted when we're broadcasting and putting on clips.
Yep, and it's on all the places where we broadcast it. It says the time, and I think Twitter got annoyed with how many clips on this show that I post, because if I look at my own profile, it's just us like this, with various faces, because it's freeze frame.
But different combinations of suit tie
That's
and
all it
jacket.
is. Exactly the same, just different outfits.
Different.
Let's have a look.
So, and while you're checking the comments, if we can slip up the Ko-fi thing. So we've got one more story left for this show. And if you do like what we're doing and want to contribute to the project, please think, I buy these guys a drink or £20 worth of drink. But you don't have to go that crazy. That was lovely, Tina. Thank you so much. But you can contribute and throw it in the Ko-fi.
Yeah. Martin S., the egg, and we thought 2020 was an annus horribilis. Brit says he just wanted to Dutch oven his partner with the eggiest fart he could muster. Oh my god, the mental image.
Damn.
It's not a clip of that American woman recreating English cuisine. It might as well be. That's how that thing finishes, with her making eggs on toast, which would just be warm bread that she's microwaved.
You make toast in America.
Better than a Dutch blindfold, Brit. Look, you two might be having a conversation about whatever you're having. I'll try and skip past those ones.
It's not that kind of show. I mean, it is.
It is, isn't it? Yeah. Could you just give us edited highlights of the story, the Dutch recap, says Mark. The one on the left looks like Leonard Rossiter.
I think he's talking about the two Dutchmen.
Oh, yeah.
The image.
Oh, God, let's go back. So I was fairly sure that one of them... Oh, this is a problem. Which one is it? There, straight to that one.
Yeah, relax.
So I think the one in the Nike top is Jason Statham. Boy, you are not a salmon. That guy.
You think it genuinely hit? Because this was actually in a story that was purporting to be about this. I didn't add that text that's on there. The man from the Netherlands. That was on the story. Right. That was linked to the Metro. So I don't know if that's an actual photo that was in the Metro. It was very unclear from the YouTube channel I stole this from.
So I think definitely if it's stuff to do with eggs at bottoms, it's bound to be Jason Statham. Boy, you're not a salmon. Leave it out. Whereas
he would have it with the peel on.
Because he's a hard man. Don't peel my eggs. Listen, I don't peel my eggs. Whereas Leonard Rossiter, could be.
I don't know who that is.
If I were to go, Miss Jones. No?
It's like you had a stroke.
Yeah, I can even do the thing by making the jacket. Miss Jones. Have you seen 2001: Space Odyssey? Welcome to the moon base, Miss Jones.
Oh, right. Not for a long time.
No. He doesn't necessarily use that voice in that film, but he's in that, and also he was in Rising Damp. Miss Jones. It's not the best.
Someone's pointed out he's leaving Tesco. I think they have Tesco in the Netherlands.
That's where he got the eggs.
He was captured in the act. Tesco, Netherlands.
Well, I'm just nipping into Tesco. Do you want large eggs? No. I also think he looks a little bit like the guy from the Fast Show who played Dave Angel. I can't remember his name though. I was going to try and say that halfway through the show. Ugh. Anyway.
I mean, would you want organic?
Freshly laid. There will be in a minute.
Range.
Extraction, says Keith. I noticed he's leaving Tesco, says Mark as well. If he helped to insert them, every little helps. Tick. See, Tesco, got to do it, every little helps joke. Good. Gives a whole new meaning to sausage and egg McMuffin. Richie says, the kids asked me the other day, what are condoms used for, Dad? I replied, to avoid awkward questions like this. Okay, I'll leave the jokes to the professionals. Another great show, guys. Thank you, Richie. Oh, nice.
Yes. Very nice.
So... my side cam's getting a bit crackly there on the old thing. Okay. Right, so if you're enjoying the show, chuck some money in the pot. Subscribe to the YouTube. We've got one more left. You ready for another problem?
I'm ready.
This is the problem of making ourselves feel better about lockdown breakers. There are so many people break. You hear the stories all the time, house parties when they turn up and go, I didn't even hear about a pandemic. Those kind of idiots. Yeah. There's another one I saw recently. 3 women have been fined when they were caught dyeing their hair in a car park. Now, look, I am famously not an owner of much hair, but why do you need to go to a car park to do what is easier to do at home? During a lockdown, when you're forced into your own home that have bathrooms... Why is a car park an easier place to dye your hair? I don't get it. Is that because it's easier to work out how long you've had the dye on for? Just put an hour on the meter, will you? Just wait till it ticks. Makes no sense. So these three women, they got fined for dyeing their hair in a car park. I know what you're thinking. Highlights, I guess, when the police turned up and the women got fined. Subtle. But this is the big problem. In Waitrose, they spotted people wearing hazmat suits going shopping. So if you're worried about people breaking lockdown, this is the balance. I like people who wear masks, but even I think hazmatting in Waitrose, possibly a bit too much. If you're scared about leaving the house, fair, good luck to you, but let's not make it a thing that now we have to wear hazmat suits. I don't want anything that rides up, the old chocolate pocket every week. But here's a picture. Here's a picture of them. There we are. If you saw that when you're walking around a shop, that'd be terrifying. And it's Waitrose. And you can tell it's Waitrose because if you zoom in on the little logo that's on that hazmat suit, it's Barber One. Makes sense. You can tell that it is. I would have thought that if you're the kind of person who goes to Waitrose, if you're going to get entirely covered up in a hazmat suit, you'd do that if you were going to Aldi, so that no one could recognise.
Exactly.
Yeah, don't go to the good shops if you're totally hiding yourself. But to find out more, I'm now joined on the line by a person who likes wearing a hazmat suit. Hello. We can't hear. But it's not going to work because I can't hear a word you say. I wrote a script for this one and all.
That's disappointing.
It's disappointing, isn't it? What do you mean I was busy today with other things? I didn't write a script. It's acting.
Oh, don't give it away.
Acting. It's okay, everyone's now just doing bum jokes about eggs. This is what the comment section has now turned into. It's always a local joke.
An old story. I apologize. I was too far down the road.
So if you,
rotten eggs now.
You could go to Waitrose and get eggs to push up your bottom, because I believe they have a section that's speckled, or if you're going to be putting them up your bum, pre-speckled.
I would definitely do it with Waitrose eggs. No
classy.
Oh yeah.
Leave the shell on. Be dirty. Any more messages coming through? Let's have a look. They all seem to be happening. They always happen on different ones.
It's always the local yolk.
Yeah.
Speyerbird. Yep.
Let's have a look. Quail's egg, says Martin S. That would be, you start off with a quail. Oh. You go chicken, duck.
Yeah.
Easter.
Got to start with the quail egg.
Go Easter egg and then include the mug. Waitrose
you don't want to get a chocolate Easter egg, though.
Yeah. Waitrose bum eggs are quail eggs. Thank you, Britt. It's good to know. Are they in their essential range? Because I know famously Waitrose essentials include things like meringue nests, and I've managed to get to this age in my life and never needed a meringue nest. Yeah. I just buy meringues. I don't buy a nest and wait for them to hatch. Stupid.
It seems like Gwyneth Paltrow is going to come out with a range of bum eggs, which means that you can as well.
This egg smells like, yeah. Sarkozy would have said, an earth is enough. This is Jack doing another French joke. He's our French correspondent. And then Mark says, describes my acting as muffled. Fair play. Fair play. Good luck to you.
Yeah, Mad Dog came in with another one. Do you remove the odd feather first?
What's that?
I'd say no from the eggs, because you get the ones. See, the people in America, though, it would actually be safer to do this in America, because the reason we have to refrigerate our eggs in the United States, because you know that we put our eggs in the fridge in America. Yeah, because they're washed with bleach. So much safer.
But do you know why you wash them, or rather, do you know why we don't wash them with bleach?
Because you love salmonella, and you're just like...
Because we vaccinate for salmonella. So the chickens can't have it, whereas you let your chickens have salmonella and go, don't worry about it, we'll just bleach the eggs later.
It's their freedom.
So we vaccinate for it. That's why, and that's why you have to refrigerate them, because after you've washed it, the hard shell is now pointless. Yeah,
which is why those are the ones you want to stick up your bum. They're bleached. They're soft.
My bum is not bleached. Oh, sorry. I wonder what. Getting confused again.
But after that, your bum is bleached.
Well.
It's definitely cleaner. So there you go.
Richie,
you learned something, guys.
Chris says bum candles, which is now just my new favourite insult. Like, bum candles. The stick is to remove it, says Martin. Good point. It's got a hook on the end.
Maybe he was the doctor. That's what.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The doctor who looks like Dave Angel from the Fast Show. And why the car park to dye your hair? Least doggers have managed to stick to the lockdown rules. That's true. Bleached eggs for bleached bumholes, says Brit.
There we go.
I feel like
ahead of us as always.
I don't think Brit would have been this bad if it weren't for our show. I feel really bad. I think maybe Brit was going about their life just being like a really nice, good person, and accidentally stumbled across us doing bum jokes twice a week.
I mean, how did she even find us? Because no one knows when we're on.
Yeah, Bayerberg. No one can crack the code. So you're, in fact, this is a code related thing. So let's do the. So you're saying they're on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and so far for most of the year it's been at 9 o'clock. If only there were a pattern.
I mean, that's not accounting for the time change.
What time do we start in America? Pick one of the times. No. 5 o'clock or something, is it? I don't know. Let's say it's 5 o'clock.
Yeah, but I mean, the seasonal time change.
Oh, as in the clocks have gone back, yeah.
Yeah.
Somehow, when the clocks go back, they still do their show at 9 o'clock. If only before the clocks change, it's 9 o'clock. After the clocks change, it's 9 o'clock. If only there were a pattern.
There's no way to discern this. It's unknowable. But that's why you can watch all the shows back.
It's unknowable.
On YouTube.
So far, top scientists can't crack the code.
Yep, but we've got some Dutch scientists working on it.
Dutch scientists have just perfected the oven. So far, it seems to be 100% success rate. They've invented the Dutch microwave. Same effect, but takes a fraction of the time.
Bayerberg's responded, I've been locked up for almost a full year. It's all Mondays, 11.
Mondays at 11. Every day is Monday at 11. If only there were a code.
Next slide, please.
How have we done this show and never said next slide, please? When all we're doing, we've taken the mickey out of them saying it, but we've never said it because all we are is an array of different slides. That's all the show is.
Let's start. It's not too late.
I'll ruin it. Thanks for the visual, Steve. By the way, bleaching your bumhole equals changing your ringtone. Oh, so good.
Because then it goes a bit more.
That kind of thing. Well, now, Bayberg, you know why we don't tell too many people that we do this. None of our careers could handle people knowing that this is the
hard-hitting news. News as hard as a boiled egg.
Right up the Jason Statham. So,
there we go, guys. We appreciate everybody that pre-bought tickets via Crack Comedy. You can keep doing that, or you can, if you have enjoyed what you've seen, contribute on Ko-fi, or just tell people about the show, watch all of our old shows. Someone was contributing over the weekend. We were getting donations over the weekend, which was lovely, so thank you for that. It's always there.
I love it when people do that. That's really, I mean, obviously, I really appreciate any money that comes in during the show, but when people donate when they're re-watching it rather than watching it live, oh, bless them.
That is bizarre.
Brit says that she's still an angel. Says it's just a cunning disguise. Mark says, have you noticed you never see Steve and Superman in the same place? Yeah.
I wear glasses every show, and he gets Superman.
Every show. Every show. These aren't even real.
Yeah, he doesn't even need glasses anymore.
This is what happened. This is what life is like to be me. I spent all that money on laser eye surgery and then bought these prescriptionless glasses so I could still do comedy bits. Actually, and then I used to say the thing about this is if people didn't realise I no longer need glasses after the old lasering, I could then go out with a female friend and she'd be trying on clothes and I'd be like, oh, it's all right if I take these off, I can't see.
Careful, you work for the BBC sometimes. Yeah. People might believe that.
That's clearly not true.
Governor of New York.
Eggs at the council. What is the world coming to? Yep, the old council gritters are out. Martin S. says the two Ronnies. Eric, can you do a Ronnie Barker impression?
No.
Good evening. I don't know about you. It's the worst Leonard Roster impression you've ever heard. Good God.
But a very good Jason Statham.
Yeah, don't peel my eggs. Look, I think we're... Oh, and Richie now says, a couple of people have said I can do Dennis Taylor.
Who are these people?
How do you get by without any cultural references in the UK?
I can tell you everybody who was in the impeachment trial.
Any of them wear their glasses like this?
No. But maybe they would have won this time. Is that from The Jerk, when they had the metal frame?
The thing in the middle.
It just everyone's eyes. Right. We gotta go.
Yeah.
Nobody mentioned Sunny Side Up. Let's Chris come in. We were saving it for you. We don't want to do all the work here, people.
Have the money back.
No refunds.
Oh, and DJ Orgy something 3455 has sent us a message via whatever platform that is, and I can't remember. It's it's called something. It's a platform that we stream to and totally forgot that we do stuff on.
Right.
Got a viewer on there today. Trovo. Big shout out to your Trovo self.
Ha ha ha. So there we go.
Yeah. Over easy. Yeah, that would be another. Nice. How very dare you? I'm quite picky about which eggs I see.
A cupcake. Nice. Different show. We're back on Thursday.
Yep. Thursday, 9 o'clock for another one of these. Eric's got a podcast.
American Exchange, which features Mary Trump in one of the episodes, so check that out. And we've got a new episode coming out on Friday. Steve, what have you got there?
Oh, hi. How you doing? I'm Steve, and you could go on Amazon and buy Stephen Allen's Lasted Another Year Despite a Pandemic, available now in all good bookstores as long as they're Amazon.
Here we go. So that's it. Thank you very much for watching. Subscribe. Thursday, 9 o'clock. Well done, Bayerberg. But you can watch it back later. That's perfectly fine.
For Bayerberg,
if you want to be here live.
For Bayerberg, tune in Monday, 11.
Every day is the same.
All right. Till next time. Bye.
Bye.